The Ugly Duckling. One day, a mother duck's eggs began to hatch. One by one, she watched her ducklings enter the world. The biggest egg was the last to hatch. "Oh my," she thought, "he is large for a duckling. He's not at all like the others. He's a bit hard to look at. I wonder if he can swim. I guess we shall see tomorrow." There he is. And while he has gray fuzz, and the other ducklings have yellow fuzz. The next day, the mother duck led her ducklings to the pond. My, that is quite large and ugly for his age," said the farm rooster. The mother duck simply ignored the rooster as she instructed her babies. "Do what I do," she said to them. The eager little ducklings hopped into the refreshing blue water. They bobbed and floated like little corks. They all seemed to know how to paddle their legs and swim. All of the new ducklings swam nicely. The Ugly Duckling was an especially good swimmer. The mother duck was very pleased with all of her ducklings, and she decided to take them out to the meadow. The little ducklings did as their mother did, but the gray duckling was clumsy. The tall meadow grass made him trip and fall. His brothers and sisters laughed. "Why can't you walk like us?" they asked. "And why do you look so different from us? Are you really our brother?" See? He's not like the other 5 at all. The poor ugly duckling had his head under his wing. How sad he was! He did not know what made him so different from his siblings. He only wanted to be loved. At last, the ugly duckling could stand no more teasing. He decided to run away and find a place where no one would know him. The little duckling traveled until he came to a large marsh, where he chose to spend the night. In the morning, the little duckling was greeted by some wild geese who lived there. "What sort of creature are you?" the geese asked him not unkindly. "You don't look like us, but that is all right. You may stay with us for now." But just then, a hunter's dog walked by. The geese were startled and flew away. The duckling remained still, hiding behind the marsh grass for a very long time. When he was certain the dog was gone, the duckling set off again across the meadow. Soon the duckling came to a hut. Its door was open, so the ugly duckling went inside. An old woman lived in the hut with her cat and her hen. Being rather blind, the old woman thought the duck might lay some eggs for her, and so she let him stay. The poor little duckling could not purr like the cat or lay eggs like the hen. As a result, the animals teased him mercilessly. Oh, poor duckling. And there's the dog. Let's check to see if I skipped a page. Nope, I didn't. "What good are you?" they asked him, and the duckling could not say. The teasing made the duckling miss the pond and the wonderful feeling of swimming, so he left the little hut in search of something that might make him happy. The duckling found a small lake where he could dive to the bottom and pop back up again to float in the water. It was very nice, except for the wild ducks who lived there. They ignored him because he was so ugly. Autumn came, and with it, clouds and the cold winds. One evening, a flock of beautiful birds with huge, powerful wings flew overhead. Their feathers were pure white, and they had long, graceful necks and smart black noses. The beauty of the swans, for what is what they were, made the ugly duckling long to follow them. The weather grew cold. Luckily, a farmer came along and found the shivering duckling. The farmer took him home. There's the swans. The farmer's children were excited to play with the duckling, but he thought they were going to hurt him. In his fright, he ran out of the house and into the cold snow. The children followed the ugly duckling and tried to catch him, but he found a hiding place under some bushes. As the snow fell silently around him, he lay still until the children went back indoors. The duckling had a hard winter. Food was scarce, and the wind howled across the meadow. Poor duckling, get him. To top it off, the ugly duckling noticed that his feathers had begun to fall out. He used them to line the nest he had built beneath a snowdrift. He was sure that his featherless body was even uglier now. When spring finally arrived, the warm sun shone, the grass became soft and green, and the song of birds and the fragrance of new flowers filled the air. Filled with the joy of spring, the duckling spread his wings to fly. Below, he saw 3 swans on a lake. The ugly duckling knew suddenly longed to be near them. He landed on the water and swam toward them. As the ugly duckling drew near, he bowed his head, expecting to be taunted by the lovely creatures. When he looked down, he saw another graceful swan floating on the lake. It was his own reflection. There's his reflection. He's now a swan. He was no longer an oversized, clumsy, ugly duckling. He was a swan. His ugly gray feathers had vanished, and his new feathers were white and shiny. He had a sleek, powerful wings and a long, graceful neck. "I am beautiful like you," he whispered to the swans. The swans encircled him and stroked him with their beaks. Finally, the once ugly duckling knew where he belonged. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.